the cool shades. Honestly, these are the grossest shades. I've got sunglasses. I got to get new ones. They've got the Jaguars logo on them. That's how old they are. I've had them since, gosh, I was a Jaguars fan before I even went to art school. God, we're talking about 1996, I guess. I followed the Jaguars, and then I went to Pittsburgh and got better taste and followed the Pittsburgh Steelers. Preseason game last night. I'm not talking about that today. And actually, I apologize for the goofy looking sunglasses. Maybe I'm just gonna take them off. I'm really not that bright out. But I got contacts in today, so now I'm doing it with contacts. I wanted to talk about. So we're about. It's right now Monday, the 26th, and we're about a week away from a possible hurricane. They're talking about it, in the gym in the morning. They've got the track showing that it's possible. Week, 8 days away, 10 days away. It's a fair amount of time for it to change its course. But I've made plans today to check out the fire the generator, make sure it starts. Oh shoot! I meant to bring the gas can with me. Son of a gun! I'm gonna have to go out and get gas sometime this week. The kind that doesn't have ethanol in it. I've got one gas can that's not filled, but two others that are. It makes me think about the media has done such a great job of making people who prepare sound crazy, right? Because they find the most crazy people who are preppers and put them on TV, and it makes anybody who might be prepared-minded sounding to look like a nut job, because they find the guys who are like, I didn't watch what was it called, American Prepper or something like that. I didn't watch the show very often. The one episode that I caught was this jackass trying to make a bulletproof vest out of like a steel grate or something like that, and he had his buddy shoot him in the chest with a shotgun just to see how well it worked, and thankfully it worked. But what a dumbass. He was actually planning on how to give his pregnant wife a C-section should it become necessary, should the whole thing fall. Like, they find the craziest nut jobs and put them on TV and say that's what preppers look like, and that's not the case at all. We bought this generator, my wife and I, by the time we were just dating, but we were in Pittsburgh, and we got hit with the snowpocalypse. If you remember, this is 2009, 2010, I think. We had like 30 inches of snow inside of a week. And the first event brought us maybe 20 inches of snow inside like an overnight or a 2-day period. And then we had another 10 inches later on that week. It was crazy town. And we were living at her aunt's house, and it was, we lost power for the night. We had a fireplace going. We put blankets over the door frames because there weren't doors in the living room where the fireplace was. Moved the couch as close as we could to the fireplace, and we were huddled up, man. It was getting dicey because there wasn't a lot of wood in the house. Her aunt had lived there for years, and we're burning through the wood. There's no power. We're like, holy cow, we could be in real trouble here. I had actually in my head said, I'll just go to I know the neighbors have a whole bunch of wood. I didn't know them or anything. I think I helped them earlier in that day shovel their driveway free. They're an older couple. But I spied that they had a large stash of wood, and I'm just like, I'm going to steal some wood off their pile and then apologize later, because it was the middle of the night. It should have come down to that. Fortunately, by 10 o'clock, power came back on again, and we were able to make it through. But it was not a good situation. We went immediately out and bought a generator at that point. And I still have that same generator. It's a pretty good size one. But that's, again, it's not about end of the world. It's not about, catastrophe. Being prepared, having some extra food put aside, having a generator and gasoline, having a chainsaw, which I now have, it's really just being smart for all the things like hurricanes coming in, storms and blizzards and those kinds of things. Or even for a job layoff. Like, you get laid off your job, it's kind of nice to have, you're not going to starve because you still got some food in the pantry. You should have come down to needing it. So I lament the idea that they've married preparedness to craziness. It's not the case. I mean, there are plenty of crazy people who are preppers. There are also plenty of crazy people who are gas station attendants. There are crazy people who drive school buses. Makes me scared. But crazy people are everywhere. You can't put those and maybe there's an intersection between preparedness and crazy people, but it's not the only overlap with crazy person. And preparedness, it just really means being smart. I mean, if you're taking out insurance for your car, for your house, you're preparing for something, for the worst case scenario. Having a generator, having food, those are the same kind of things you ought to do. Anyways, like I said, we're still oh gosh, 8 days away, 10 days away. So who knows? This could go any different direction. But they did have a few tracks that had them coming right up the peninsula. So it could be an event. There's a few tree limbs around my house too. I'll be cutting down as well. So I would ask people to reconsider the concept of preparedness if you're one of those people who marries it to something crazy, and then once you can get over that hump, maybe think about getting yourself a generator if you don't have one already, and some gasoline for it. But when you store gasoline, make sure you get the ethanol-free stuff, because with the ethanol, it just turns to goo. You can get some. Also, there's some additives you can add to gasoline that's going to sit for a while. That'll keep it fresh for longer. Do all those things. Prepare yourself just in case the storms come through. All right, that's all I was going to say today. Cheers. So you like movie quotes, and you got to be dressed anyways. Why don't you check out my Threadless store and get all the Earl t-shirts you can handle.